Hello everybody. I'm sorry about what happened last night with the stream. Yeah, a lot of issues at the moment with the rain because the internet in Australia is so shit. Unfortunately, I did have to kind of try again tonight. But, that's not a problem. Hopefully tonight it runs a lot smoother, so yeah, shut up just for when. Yes? No? Alright, there we are. Alrighty. Oh. Auto rotating on? It is? Right, man. Sure. Right, but yes, welcome to Midnight Evil. Again, I have played through on my Switch, but since I'm unable to, stream from the Switch, because I don't have a capture card or anything like that, Nintendo fixed this shit. But I have it here, it was on sale, the Steam Summer Sale, which is currently going on until July 9th, I believe. I don't know why I'm saying this to make it seem like, I'm sponsored by Steam. I'm clearly not, but I wish. And this is a great game, because I wanted to play the PC one, mostly because of the narrate mode, which allows you to read the pages instead of having them read to you, which is a lot better in my opinion. But, so, without further ado, let's get in to Midnight Evil. Oh, wait, before I do though, glasses. As the clock approached midnight, William Crinkle was fast asleep. Crinkle or Grinkle? Whoa. I'm sorry, but that's rough, buddy. Jesus Christ, why did they show us Quasimodo in bed? Okay, tonight was different though. I apologise. He awoke to a strange sound coming from the attic. And also, if you're wondering why he attended, it's because they block out Blu-rays, so I don't get eye strain. Okay. Oop. Sorry, that was the video I was watching. As he kind of said he felt something. What did he feel? Why has everything suddenly gone silent as well? He had never seen this chest before. It's an innocent book. Is it so innocent though? Is it really? Tonight his life would change forever. Yeah, I can imagine. Nathan Sanders presents Midnight Evil. Yes. So yes, the narration mode's on currently, so you guys have to listen to my horrible voice. Yes. Keep going. So yeah, obviously we got some references here. Like Otori is obviously Otari. You've got Dragons and Dungeons, Dungeons and Dragons, Saws, the Germinate. The G or an S? G, Germinator. Oh yeah, because he's Austrian. Preface. Long before the first humans stood upright and took their place in the world, there was a beautiful land that was once ruled by what many would come to call the Fae. I did it! Because I researched Midnight Law. These ancient beings were worshipped by mankind, but they were also feared. Humans were right to be afraid. For there were many creatures that lived in the darkness, watching us, waiting. Humans were right to be afraid, for there were many creatures that lived in the darkness, watching us, waiting. I heard that. Also, I like little Dungeons and Dragons characters there. Something that's really dark. I don't know why. Oh well. Most were harmless enough, amusing themselves by causing mischief and playing pranks on humans that crossed their paths. Oh, I have to actually read it? Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna have to put that somewhere else. That's gonna have to go down there for now. Most were harmless enough, amusing themselves by causing mischief and playing pranks on humans that crossed their paths. Okay. The delay is very bad. However, some had a more sinister intentions. Fucking what, mate? You wanna go? I like how my first reaction is, you fucking what? The Earthling, for example, have developed a liking for the taste of human children. Are you serious? The Earthling, for example, have developed a liking for the taste of human children. God's sake, this guy's gonna be like, is it? Okay. These monsters are small, unnaturally fast, and impossible to kill. These monsters are small, unnaturally fast, and impossible to kill. It was an unlucky tragedy for my people that we had decided to build our village right here, right in the middle of the Earthling's territory. We have lost so many of our children over the past year. There aren't enough tears in this world to weep for their loss. Oh. Oh, front to the present instead of back to the future. That's genius. They're like ragged demons. Oh, Jesus Christ, what the hell are they, mate? They sound somewhat cool. SMS. Thankfully, though, my grandmother taught me well in the ways of my druid ancestors. I may not be able to kill the little beasts, but I was able to work out a spell that binds them to this book. I can only hide it and pray that it never falls into the hands of a child. Okay, where the thing's catching up. Oh, okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I'm always eager to learn about that kind of, like, different mythology and stuff. That's pretty cool. If you are reading this, know that I am truly sorry for the demons that have now been passed on to you. Also, there's a little nut thing that kind of looks like them, I think. I don't know, I think that's meant to be a reference to nightlights, or whatever. Opening this book will have awakened them, and I'm sure they will be ravenously hungry. Did it not? Oh, it did. Man, that's a big word. My brain cannot keep up. Once the book is opened, you must read it out loud from beginning to end in order to return them to their magical prison. Be watchful. They only attack if you don't see them coming. I'm sorry, I'm a child. This is kind of getting FNAF. In a way, it kind of is, except you don't have to survive like 6 minutes until 6 AM. I mean, this time you have to read, you have to finish chapter throughout each night. Okay, and it all depends on how long it takes for you to read it. Also, hello Daniel. Most importantly, once you finish this book, keep it hidden so that it never... Well, I need to start that again. Most importantly, once you open this book, most importantly, once you finish this book, keep it hidden so that no one ever opens it again. I don't want that little delay.
IGSFM 98.7
Yes.
Game Talk.
Hello, darkness. My name is Nick Gloom. It's just me tonight. As you guys know, we answer game questions and talk tips and tricks.
This guy sounds so
Nate
enthusiastic.
usually does. I don't really play most of those games.
Excuse me?
Anyway, let's get to the phones. First caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Nick. I'm wondering, how do I beat the final boss in Terminator Destruction?
How would I know that?
Well, I don't know.
I'm stuck here working for crap money. I still can't afford
Nick,
to
you
buy
cynical
Atari
fuck.
games. Would you like me to page Nate?
Wait, their names are Nick and Nate?
Like I said, I'm working here. I don't usually come on the radio. So, I don't have as much of a bedside
Well,
manner
we can
as
point
Nate
to it,
does.
Except you can freely look in this one though, which is
I
way
bought a
better in
Visual
my
Basic
opinion.
book, which is the programming language for Atari, since I can't afford to buy my own Atari games, and I'm working on my own homebrew game. The pending title is Evil Midnight.
Wow,
I'm not sure what
original.
you're going to have to do yet, but I think it's going to be a horror game, and it's going to be at nighttime, and it's going to be evil.
Damn, you're already at the end of
Basically, you
season 2?
would do
Oh,
something all
sucks.
night, and then you would win.
It does suck that there's
It's
no
kinda like
season
working
4,
here. I
unfortunately.
try to keep my head
But
down all
we don't
day,
want to run a
but
show too long,
Janet
you know.
asked me to go on the air, and I'm always getting asked to do stuff. The more stuff I get asked to do, the more I get anxious and panic. It's a vicious cycle.
Is this some kind of life lesson? I just want to play Terminator.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Fuck off. Alrighty. Wait till you see these things though. These things are fucking hilarious. They're annoying, but they're funny. Little Maggie O'Brien was the first. Little Maggie O'Brien was the first. Trust me, you gotta deal with a lot of these things. The children had been playing in Hogan's Forest when they all heard a noise. I wonder if... What fucking... Mate, calm down, okay? I wonder if that's where they filmed Hogan's Heroes. Does anyone remember that show, Hogan's Heroes? God, it's amazing. Sensing no danger because there were so many of them, 12 children in all decided to investigate the source of the strange sound. I wonder that there's a delay. It might just be my computer though. As they all searched high and low, they soon realized that Maggie was missing. Really? You didn't register that? As they all searched high and low, they soon realized that Maggie was missing. Frantically, they began searching for their friend. She was a small girl who loved to play hide and seek. Really? What the hell is that? Oh, I probably should have said chapter 1. Oops, sorry. Her big brother Colin insisted that she was probably hiding somewhere safe and giggling to herself as she watched everyone search for her. Fucking... See, look at these things! They're fucking hilarious. I mean, you know what they actually kind of remind me of? when you get a good look at them, if you've ever seen the movie Critters, they kind of look like a bigger version of them. The sun sank low in the sky and the forest grew dark. The children, frustrated and panicked, ran back to the village to alert their parents that little Maggie was nowhere to be found. Until they found parts of her scattered all over the forest. I'm sorry, that was very dark, I apologise. That's when everyone lit torches and spread out through the woods calling her name. That's when everyone lit torches and spread out through the woods calling her name. Okay, I need a bigger desk. I need an actual desk. I'm on my floor at the moment. The little girl's mother sobbed desperately as we all inspected every corner of those woods in hopes of finding her. This was start setting people. All those critter frogs. Critter Frogs is great. Hey, Critter is an amazing movie. It's stupid, it's weird, it makes me laugh all the time, but it's a great movie. It's a classic. Okay. Her brother kept searching, tears streaming down his cheeks. His little chubby cheeks and his arm here probably going to squeeze and pinch. I'm her big brother, he said, rubbing his eyes. I'm supposed to make sure nothing happens to her. God, my mouth is dry. I should have brought some water or something. It's not your fault, Colin, I assured him. We'll find her soon, and she'll be no worse for the wear. Are you sure about that? We'll find her soon, and she'll be no worse for the wear. Also, I've been told to search around the room, because you can find some, memory bricks and unlock stuff in, the main menu, where you can play the Otori. Also, apologies for the stuffy nose nonsense. He nodded, forced a smile, and we all continued looking. He nodded, forced a smile, and we all continued looking. I heard that. I know you're in there, mate. You know what, I'll throw a fucking flashbang in there. Just toss a 9-bagger in there, close the door, just hear it bloody scream. As it goes blind. Ah! The moment I heard him scream, I knew he had found her. Ooh. I don't like there's a delay. But the Switch version, I was like, what the fuck are you? Was that a cheese man? Was that a fucking cheese man? I'm hungry for cheese now. Or rather, what was left of her? Oh, there's more. Or rather, what was left of her, which wasn't much. Fuck. Stop that goddamn banging. He was sure it was Maggie, because she had worn her favourite hair bow that day. Her father plucked the pink ribbon from the body and fell to his knees, wailing into the darkness. Fuck off, mate. She's bad. I thought I was on the Wii. Yeah, I know. It's not like the Wii U. Yeah, it's not like the version, man. But yes, Cheese Man, bad touch. I don't want this. I don't want fucking Uncle Cheese Man coming by anymore. Poor Colin tried to tell us then, He said that she had been covered in what he described as little green men. I always knew the army men from Toy Story were evil. Yeah, they were suffering from, you know, obviously the PTSD of what has happened. War is fucking terrible, man. They were fat and green, he stammered. See, they look like critters mixed with, yeah, frogs. See? I told ya. Oh, they look like critters mixed with Furbies. Furbies are freaking terrifying, man. With bright with bright glowing eyes, they were biting off bits of skin and flesh. As you can tell, a very bleak game. No one believed the lad. Well, obviously, I love that word, lad. We all attributed to the horrible ordeal of a hungry wild animal. Of course, what else could it possibly be? Scooping up what remained of little Maggie, the townsfolk set to work preparing for her funeral. Really? Scooping up what remained of little Maggie, the townsfolk set to work preparing for her funeral. I hate that. It doesn't fit. It's got that little bit of delay. It's stupid. We had no idea the horrors that lay ahead. Well, as you can see, fucking critters are attacking. At least they're not in space. Good God, we'd all be dead. That's a joke. Because critters in space. Yeah, the delay really is stress-inducing. And then you just hear, like, the delay, like, clatter. And you're just like, fuck. I thought to myself how strange her wounds looked. Also, that heartbeat don't fucking help me. I couldn't help but think back to what Colin said about the little green men. It made me think of the stories my grandmother used to tell me. Bugger off, mate. She said that our druid ancestors spoke of tiny creatures that lived long ago in the swamps and marshes surrounding our lands. Ooh, that was a big sentence. I was a sports fan there. The Earthlings, she called them. Huh, surprised it didn't pop up there. There were 3 tribes, each being their own breed of evil. Okay, let's do more. One tribe, I recall, she said, were green and fat. Really? One tribe, I recall, she said, were green and fat. They would lure children away from the safety and feast on their flesh. Well, that's not fucking dark. Oh, look at that page there. Oh, foreshadowing. Foreboding, sorry, not foreshadowing. We didn't live near any swamps. Surely the boy's mind was playing tricks on him. Yeah, that's really, the delay really is so confusing. Besides, the Oaklings weren't real. They couldn't be. I think he begs to differ. They couldn't be. Hey, that doesn't sound my fan makes. Alright, that's another chapter down. Chapter 2. Maggie O'Brien's funeral was just what anyone would expect. Really? Maggie O'Brien's funeral was just what anyone would expect. Everyone did their best to comfort the grieving parents. Colin kept to himself. After this, you probably would be, yeah. Yes, that was only one chapter. I think is it 5 or 6? I don't know. I told you, man. It depends on how long you take. Speaking of which, everyone assumed it was because he blamed himself. Oh, that was it. That was what's happening in my room. Oops. Fuck yeah. After his sister had been laid to rest, I came to him asking him how he was doing. Oh, I fucking saved that. Oh boy. He looked up at me, eyes red from either crying, lack of sleep, or a combination of the two, and said, "I really saw them, the little green monsters." Really, mate? I'm going to have to start naming them, because there's 3 types. There's a green one, a red one, and a white one. I need to figure out names for them. Alright, the green one's going to be Jerry. The red one's going to be... what should I call him? I'll figure it out. My heart ached as I put my arms around the boy. This is starting to turn like really Catholic churchy. I kept telling myself that seeing his little sister in pieces couldn't have been easy for him. That didn't very short? Oh god. I kept telling myself that seeing his little sister in pieces couldn't have been easy for him. Yeah, it's your fault, mate. He was just in shock. The stories of the Earthlings were only told to scare children into doing what they were told was all. That was all. Mate! Oh. Oh. The first thing my grandmother told me about the Earthlings was that there were 3 tribes. Jerry's cluttering it. Ooh, what's that? A data block. Ooh, see, that's what I was saying, guys. I just hope Uncle Chief Man doesn't show up again. But yes, the green one's gonna be Jerry. The red one, I'm gonna call Tweak. The white one, I'm gonna call her Nunnally. And you will see, in a minute, you will see why I'm gonna call her Nunnally. The green ones had round bellies and piercing blue eyes. She said that they could be heard if you walked deep into the swamp at night. They would laugh and sing as they danced around their tiny campfires, which would appear as only as tiny flickering lights through the trees. Oh, that was a long one. They were the least lethal of the 3 tribes, but every bit as evil. Yes! I fucking quickscoped that shit. Holy damn. The red ones were more temperamental, and even faster than their green cousins. This is where it gets dark. They didn't... Okay, so this is Tweak we're talking about now. They didn't sing or dance around campfires, and their celebrations were a bit more gruesome. Really? Oh, God. They didn't sing or dance around campfires, and their celebrations were a bit more gruesome. Now gotta be on the lookout, because with this, there's no save thing. So, if you die, if they get you, you have to start all over again. Even if you were just at the end. It's like freaking heart-wrenching. Breaking, whatever. They prefer to eat children from the inside out. Yikes. That didn't register either. They prefer to eat children from the inside out. Oh, I heard the ambience change. It was thought by some that they were only red because they were stained by the blood of their victims. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. Dark, but a lot of sense. Fiery red, bristle-like hairs sprouted from the tops of their heads, and their glowing yellow eyes seemed cold and calculating. Aha! I just narrowly avoided that. Ooh, I'm getting a bit too. Here we go. Here's why I'm going to call this one Nunnally. Hold on. The pale Earthlings were another class altogether. They had white skin and wild, untamed blue hair that flowed out in every direction. The most unsettling thing about them was that they had no eyes at all, yet they somehow were the most efficient killers of the three. Goddamn. But yeah, that was a joke I made about calling it the third one Nunnally, because, you know, it's obviously blind, and Nunnally from Code Geass is also blind. It's tasteless, I know. The most unsettling thing about them was that they had no eyes at all, yet they somehow were the most keen and efficient killers of the three. Oh god, I hate the long sentences. Grandmother said that their long, wiry hair could somehow sense the presence and locations of children. Nearly got. You gotta look dead at them, otherwise you get fucking all out of Red Rover. There was some sort of. Fucking. What? You're right. Fucking hell, I'm hearing shit now. Alright, that's pretty good. There were some things that all three tribes had in common. Earthlings preferred to... I swear to God, Jerry, you keep clattering around in there. I'm gonna fucking start shouting your rant, eh? And it ain't gonna be cheap. Shut up, Daniel. Earthlings preferred to eat after midnight, and would only attack if the child didn't make direct eye contact with them. Well, that's pronouncing pretty hard, considering Nunnally doesn't have eyes. I reassured myself that the O'Brien girl being attacked barely after sunset meant that she had been the victim of a wild animal attack. Okay, damn, I have to redo that again. I reassured myself that the O'Brien girl being attacked barely after sunset meant that she had to have been the victim of a wild animal attack. I think Jerry is the house thinks otherwise. A few of the men in the village came together to hunt down the beast that killed the girl. What the fuck? I heard that. I heard that. You cannot tell me you can hear that shit. Tweak, is that you? Fuck no, mate. They came back 2 days later carrying the carcass of a large wolf. Okay, that reminds me of like the thing. Hold on, just pause that to make sure that I don't die. That reminds me of like the whole the edgy version of Red Riding Hood, where they brought a regular wolf pack, thinking they killed the beast. But in reality, all they did was just kill a regular old grey wolf. Yes, they are. Trust me, they come in frickin' droves later on. Oh god, it's... I didn't even fucking adjust today. What's this? Oh. Let's throw that shit over there so I can see who's coming in. Don't know who to talk to. We need to do some Predator again. Yes, we will. We will be doing some Predator again. There we are. The whole village breathed a sigh of relief and a big celebration was held. Hiya! Fucking Jerry. The only one besides myself that remained anxious was Colin. He was right to be. Looking at his face that night, I knew that he believed the creatures that killed Maggie were still out there, waiting. This is turning into a very tedious task. Looking at his face that night, I knew that he believed the creatures that killed Maggie were still out there, waiting. He was right. There's another chapter done.
WIGSFM 98.7.
Yeah, Daniel, Jesus. What did you do to your controller?
Hello, darkness. Welcome to the top of the hour.
My leg's falling asleep.
Again, I'm your host,
Jesus.
Nick Gloom, filling in for Nate tonight. That was an interesting hour, I must say. I don't know, Janet. I feel like these kids don't like me.
Yeah.
Hey, Janet, do you like me? And she's walking away, folks. Anyway, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Nick, just calling in, wanted to say that you suck.
I just had a feeling that was coming. I feel like I'm not as approachable as Nate is. Oh yeah, so anyway, I forgot there's a sponsor slot I was supposed to fill last hour. This one goes out to all you greasy, pizza-faced listeners. Are you tired of popping pimples? Ew, gross. Do some zits appear over and over and you have to keep popping them? Gross. Kind of like that popular video game, Mole Whacker? From the creators of Simple Pimple comes the revolutionary cream, Pimple
Bad.
Buster.
It's enough to get you
The all-in-one,
to
scientifically
cause anxiety,
formulated
you know?
pimple-destroying cream. Call 155-PIM-PLES. But hurry before supplies run out. That's 155-PIMPLES. You know, Janet, I think Evil Midnight could use some Mole Whacker inspiration. Something to keep the player on their toes.
Yeah,
Or at least
this
that
is what I
last prank
like.
caller can drink some of that
It
pimple
bloody...
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's what I like about those radio things, because he always foreshadows what's going to happen the next night. Hold on, let's see if I can turn the brightness up a bit. I have to quit the thing, don't worry, I should be able to continue. From the... Hold on, anything here, but I'm going to turn up the gamma. Christ. There we are. Bit better. Also, we've got an Otori thing here. Okay, if you say so, mate. Info. Alright, we got these. Oh, we got some blocks. A mysterious drone dropped by Gulos. There seems to be strange energy coming from it. Maybe some kind of ancient ruin. Oh, these are the actual names. I'm just going to call him Gulos Jerry. Oh god. It's Uncle Cheese Man. No. No. Also, something we need to decipher. Let's try this again at a later time. Wait, that was it? Yeah, that was Cheese Man. Handwritten book title, Midnight Evil. Okay, that's the book. Oh, this is the cipher thing. Okay, cool. Quit that, that's obviously Mole Whacker. We're obviously going to quit and go back to the main menu and play. Please don't tell me I have to start from the beginning. Please tell me I don't have to start from the beginning. Oh my god. Chapter 3! Jesus Christ, this is gonna be a long ass fucking stream, isn't it? I was hoping to finish it tonight, but I honestly don't think I will. So check this messages from people. Bugger off people. Okay, I think this is when it introduces the red ones. Okay, so that's Tweak. Yes, Jeremy and Tweak. So far, not only hasn't shown up yet, she's got no life, I don't blame her. Already. The next day, Maddie's mother visited her daughter's grave, discovering something that was more than a little strange. Okay, I said, Jerry, I'm gonna start charging the brand, mate, if you're gonna keep doing shit like that, eh? $100 a week. Doesn't seem like much, but it'll add up for someone who doesn't have a job. The earth on the grave was disturbed as if something had crawled its way out. Ooh. Alright. Tweak, that's you. I know that's you, mate. Fucking hell. Don't you follow Jerry's footsteps. Be a better person. I couldn't help but remember what grandmother said about the red earthlings. Huh? Yeah, the red ones attack in waves, and as the nights go on, they get more and more. Fucking Jerry. Fucking Tweak, I mean, sorry, I forget who's who. They would burrow inside their victims and eat their way out. Come on, I want another data block. Could it be that we brought a whole tribe of them right into the village without even knowing it? I think evidence speaks for itself. It wasn't kind of like on crack, they do. They really freaking do. It's like, hey mate, you got a fix? That's what it is. They need their fix and they think killing you is the only way to get it. The answer would come soon enough. Sorry, I'm very much up. Jacob McLaren was found torn to shreds in his bed the following morning. Obviously, a wild animal had attacked him inside his own house. Oh my god, I keep thinking like breathing is them. Another devastated family and another funeral. This soon after Maggie didn't sit well with anyone. The atmosphere became more tense and uncomfortable. Fucking Jerry, you freeloader, Jerry, you're bringing your mates in on this too? God, man, I don't run a charity service, seriously. I insisted on inspecting Jacob's remains myself, just to reassure myself that there was nothing hiding inside. Colin approached me afterwards, asking what I was looking for. I heard it, but I heard... Oh, they're trying to do the old reach around, eh? I'm sorry, I should have mentioned the old reach around. Thank God Corey's not here. I told him it was nothing, but he knew better. I hate the freaking delay. You believe me about the monsters, don't you? Oh, I gotta read the whole thing? Oh, Jesus Christ. Get rid of that. You believe me about the monsters, don't you? His young face was determined as he spoke. You're the only one who doesn't... you're the only one who doesn't look at me like I'm crazy. Oh, my microphone. Ooh, rattling. I swallowed hard, started to deny it. But the words caught in my throat. As much as I tried, I couldn't lie. What? But the words caught in my throat, and as much as I tried, I couldn't lie. Oh my God. I need to get a better microphone. I can't just use this thing. It isn't picking it up. Listen. I put my hands on his shoulders. Again. Going for the very Catholic churchy vibes. Listen. I put my hands on his shoulders. I don't think you're crazy, but we need to be sure of what we are dealing with before we spark a full-blown panic. Tell me exactly what happened. Finally, Joe finally came out of the closet. Just in time for Primark too. I mean that in like such as most PC way possible. Okay, please don't attack me. As soon as I saw it, I had to breathe, think back. I was like, "Ooh boy, here comes Zinger." Oh Jesus, it's taken us 15 minutes just to get halfway through chapter 3. Christ. Colin took a deep breath, working up his nerve. Fucking hell, Jerry, get you and your crackhead cousin out, man. I'm sorry. I can't believe I just said Jerry came out of the kid out of the closet like I was expecting it. Oh, god damn it. God damn it, lady. Okay, just making sure. It was so dark, but I had a good torch. I really don't like that delay. I called her name over and over. She didn't answer. Then I heard something. Fucking hell, Jerry. I honestly think Tweaks is gone because he's got the fucking munchies, eh? Well, I mean, that's why they're kind of here, considering I'm a kid, and apparently they eat kids. Also, am I right? Looking at the bloody, like, towards the bottom of the screen, where the end of the sleeve is, you notice I don't have hands. What the hell? Am I like some sort of like transcendent being or some shit? It sounded like chewing. I took a few more steps and saw her laying there. All over her were these fat, green little monsters. They had mouthfuls of pointy teeth that looked like needles and massive clawed hands. See what I mean? See what I mean? The waves start getting larger. I think they only come in threes though, this is the most, or fours. So then you're harmless. Yeah, that's what they are. They remind me of. They're like troll dolls, like Jerry, the green one. Ah! I told you no, Uncle Cheeseman. But yeah, the fucking Uncle Cheeseman, man, it's got me all out of the groove. But yeah, no, the green one looks like a mix between a frog and the critters. The third one, the second one, Tweak, the red one, looks like a demon troll doll. Which I think that could be a really good fucking horror movie. And the white ones, I forgot what they were, because they only appeared in like the last couple of chapters. Like the last chapter, or whatever. Just then, a twig snapped under my foot, and they all stopped what they were doing and looked right at me. Just then, a twig snapped under my foot, and they all stopped what they were doing and looked right at me. Fuck. Oh. They're getting more aggressive. They don't want me finishing this shit. That's when I screamed and they scattered. Pretty much, yeah. Although but the red one is supposed to be like one singular one that just moves around very fast. They were gone before any of the grown-ups got to me. Oh, alright, fucking yeah, mate. His eyes filled with tears at the memory. Please tell me what they are. Please don't tell me what they are. I don't want to know anymore. He was no more than 11 or 12, having just lost his sister and now his friend. Yeah, man, this shit would be fucking heartbreaking. Like the feeling of you know what's going on, but not having anyone believe you would be freaking horrible. No one had believed him when he tried to tell us before. It couldn't have been easy, but he opened up to me. Fucking tweak. Fucking tweak. You crackhead. I felt it only right that I tell him what I knew. We sat together by the bonfire late into the night, and I told him all the old stories. Really? It didn't register. God damn it. We sat together by the bonfire late into the night, and I told him all the old stories. Was it just me? Did that sound like a fart? That straight up sounds like someone farted in the closet. Unfortunately, the one thing that my grandmother hadn't mentioned was how to get rid of them. Looking into the flames, I got an idea. Yeah, that's right, I'm gonna light you fuckers on fire. Just crack out the fucking heavy flamer. Their numbers know no end, brothers. I knew that most unholy creatures were repelled by fire. Yes, most, not all. Oh, I thought that was one of them there for a second. Fucking. Well, Colin folded his arms. We'll just have to test what happens to an earthling when it's lit on fire. Just cracks out a fucking flamethrower casually. Purge it in flame! Burn in holy fire! What chapter are we up to now? Chapter 4! Oh, we're actually doing pretty damn good. Damn it, I fucking jinxed myself. Colin wanted to tell his friends about the Earthlings, but I begged him to keep it a secret. Fucking hell, you crackhead. If anyone knew that my grandmother had passed her druidic teachings down... Fuck, I have to restart that. Sorry. Bloody good word jumbles. If anyone knew that my grandmother had passed down her druidic teachings, it would only take one person to scream witch, and I would be as good as dead. Fucking Jerry's back again. God damn it, Jerry. I need to sleep with a bolt pistol. Oh, yes, definitely. He agreed and kept my secret. Alright, mate, calm down. I get you got indigestion, but you don't need to throw up in the closet. God, so going out in the town there, mate. Alright, I'm sorry, please don't hurt me. Although I'm pretty sure if this kid was going to use, if like a 7-year-old kid was going to use a bolt pistol, I'm pretty sure the recoil would fucking knock him back like the midget guy in Pirates of the Caribbean 3. When he shot the blunderbuss and it launched him back into the water. God, those movies were way better than they had any right to be. Especially with Jeffrey Rush. Jeffrey Rush was amazing. I mixed a potion that would catch fire when it touched by the tiniest flame. Surely this would send it screaming to the underworld. Are you sure about that? He sat quietly in his bed and waited, knowing he mustn't look them in the eye. Mate, I get... Stop sucking the toe. God, I don't know how that hurts. Surprised not screaming. He must let it attack, for this would be the only way to get close to it. Oh, for God's sake, stop getting shit in there. Turn on a light, mate. Just after the stroke of midnight, he began to hear them chuckling and shuffling around in the dark. I don't know why. Fucking what? I know some... I heard that rattling. What the fuck is going on? I apologise for my swearing. Swearing I'm doing anyway, but I did say this was 18 plus stream, so yeah. Clutching the potion bottle, his hands trembling, he lowered his gaze and braced himself. Oh, it didn't register. Okay, maybe I took too long. Clutching the potion bottle, hands trembling, he lowered his gaze and braced himself. Sure enough, one of them leapt out from his bookshelf and sank its teeth into the flesh of his arm. Man, kid's a fucking champ. Here, that's taking one for the team. He screamed and unstopped the bottle, emptying the contents all over the earthling. He screamed and unstopped the bottle, emptying the contents all over the green earthling. It tore a tiny round chunk from his arm and gulped it down, just as Colin shoved a candle right into its face. Oh, fucking spear. Oh, another data block. That must have been dropped by the red one, man. Because it was like a red data block. So, cool. It lit up like a torch and made a horrific high-pitched scream as it ran around the room, trying to put itself out. Oh yeah, have you ever had fire shoved in your fucking face before? That would sting like a bitch. The curtains caught fire as 4 more Earthlings sprung out from their hiding places. Hey, mate. Okay, getting more aggressive now. Colin ran outside screaming and cradling his blood-soaked arm. That's you fuckers. His parents soon joined him outside in a panic, trying to figure out what had happened. Really? His parents soon joined him outside in a panic, trying to figure out what had happened. Just then, a tiny fireball came racing through the doorway and zigzagged towards the woods. Stop bumping into shit, man. Oh, it's a bitch's cooking. Okay, cool. That's a little nice and odd thing. I grabbed an empty glass jar from my cupboard and ran after it. Yeah, I'm talking about you fucking crackhead. The jar made a thunk sound as it landed over the flaming Earthling, and the fire quickly went out. I heard that. Man, someone's really... Man, one of them mustn't be feeling too good, because he keeps, like, nearly throwing up. To my horror, the thing wasn't dead. Okay. It didn't even look like it was dying. What, that didn't even sound like English. I don't know how to pick that up. Though blackened from being set ablaze, it was just as spunky as ever. Is it? I thought spunky was used to describe something else. Like spunky. Wasn't it meant to like represent someone's looks or some shit? Like back in the day? I don't know. I quickly scooped up the jar and ran and screwed the lid on. Whew, damn, I'm on point tonight. As I made my way back, some of the villagers were trying to put out the fire inside the house, and the others were tending to Colin's arm. Really? As I made my way back, some of the villagers were trying to put out the fire inside the house, and others were tending to Colin's arm, telling him that it must have been a rat. Oh, I just didn't finish the sentence. Oops. I've never seen a rat quite like this, I shouted and held the jar up high so everyone could see. Oh, I'll be remembering the sound. Ah, okay, I like this. The instant they all looked in my direction, their jaws dropped open and Colin's face lit up for the first time since he lost his sister. He knew everyone finally saw that he had been telling the truth all along, and they all felt terribly ashamed for not believing him in the first place. Yeah, but totally unreal. It wouldn't be very easy to believe, though, you know. Like, yeah, it's terrible that no one believed him, yet he knew the truth. But, yeah. Unfortunately, the joy of this small victory was short-lived. Okay, now it sounds like someone farted in the hallway. God damn it, guys, what the fuck have you been eating? Better not be touching my beans, eh? For over the next 3 days, we tried every method we could think of to kill the little wretch. But no matter what horrific thing we did, it wouldn't die. Another chapter down, let's go!
IGSFM
Ooh,
98.7.
another
Game
chapter!
Talk.
Yes! I think I'm getting faster at reading them. Is that, or they get a lot
I'm your
shorter?
host, Nick Gloom, in for Nate tonight, as we dive deep into Game Talk. Sorry about those technical issues we experienced last hour. I think Janet might have fallen asleep. For those of you that missed it, we were having an interesting discussion about game difficulty and learning curves.
Oh no, more foreshadowing.
Nate likes Dragons and Dungeons, but apparently I'm dumb for thinking it's too difficult. Apparently, kids can play it. So what do I know?
Seriously,
Kind of like
mate.
my work in progress, Evil Midnight, which, as I mentioned earlier, if you weren't around, is going to be more of a horror game.
Really? I have no idea.
I'm not really sure, but I would imagine, in a game like that, confusing the player could be an evil tactic. Something like grooming them up to expect one thing, and then yank the rug out, so to speak.
Look, man, as long as Uncle Cheeseman doesn't
Hello,
come
caller,
back,
you're on Game
seriously.
Talk. Must have lost him.
Okay.
Hello, caller, you're on Game Talk. Very funny, guys. Caller, you're on Game Talk.
Ow. Freaking hell. Maybe I should split. Imagine if it was splitting this into 2 different actual streams, maybe. My legs are falling asleep and my back really hurts from like hunching over. This is why I need to get an actual desk, but unfortunately my room isn't very big. But thank you everybody who came by and joined me, mainly Andrew and Daniel, to help me keep me and you guys entertained as well with our weird ramblings. And I hope to see you in the next one. Alright. See you next time.